go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Fantasy Football Morning Show. The number one fantasy show hosted by a guy named Austin wearing a Batman t shirt. That is right, I'm coming to you from the lovely city of Jackson, Tennessee. Not sure I've ever said that, which isn't a big deal because it's only episode 2. I may not say it again. So today we're going to do rankings. First of all, thank you very much for being here, watching the video. I know you have tons of options. You can go anywhere else. You can watch any other video that you want to. So I appreciate the fact that you are watching my video, whether it be today or later down the road, or in the future. I don't know. Well, maybe if you're a time traveler, maybe this is in your past. I don't know. Just glad to be getting the likes and views. So I have a draft this weekend, on Sunday, I think, for a. There are not a lot of drafts or leagues that I just am super duper into. Um, this is one of them. Because there's a belt involved. A guy I went to high school with invited me. I feel like it's been 5 years now. He invited me 5 years ago to enter his league, which was awesome. He lives up on the East Coast, and he used some of his winnings from a different league to buy a championship style belt. I happen to be the guy who won the first year, so this is very special to me. Also, I have not won since then, and another guy that went to high school with us, Dan, who lives roughly 45 minutes from where I am right now. He has the belt, and it hurts to lose it, it hurts to not win it, but it hurts to know it's right down the road even more. So I really want the belt back. But this year I've decided something I have not done before previously is I have not used my own rankings to draft from. Never thought about it. It wasn't I didn't want to. It was just I would do my research and make some notes and stuff like that. But this year I decided I'm going to 100% draft this draft from my own rankings. So we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to become a spreadsheet bro. So if you don't know what a spreadsheet bro is, it's a term used. I guess I heard it on a podcast, and I've seen it in a few places in the fantasy football community, where not everybody does spreadsheets. Not everybody does. A lot of people do rankings based off of watching game footage and stuff like that, and I adjust my rankings accordingly based off of play. But I'm trying to work on some systems where I do a lot of stat based stuff. I'm trying to get into predictive analytics. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I've got a few spreadsheets, and I'm going to use them as the basis of my rankings. And then, like I said, I'll adjust from there. And if, in the end, I want to have two sets of rankings. One's is just purely I put information in the computer, it spits it out. And then this, like I said, with my modified some kind of human factor in there. I don't know. I haven't worked out all the details of what I want to do, but I'm trying to not be like everyone else. If you watch this long enough and you listen to me talk, you're going to hear similarities between me and other people. You may hear me say things you've heard someone else say. I'm trying to make this the fantasy football morning show interesting and entertaining, also factual and helpful, and something that people have a reason to watch. I also have a ton of people in the industry, be it fantasy football or just media in general, that I feel like I'm heavily influenced by. People that I really enjoy watching. I watch and listen to a lot of podcast content every day. I'm a fan of The Levitard Show. I'm a fan of Pat McAfee. I'm a fan of Gary Vee, if you know who that guy is. So I want to pay homage to some of those people with certain things. but I also want to have this be a unique thing of my own. I enjoy it. I love doing the podcast with Dale and the guys at Eat Sleep Fantasy whenever I get a chance to do it. Um, I love listening to Casey Kasem's podcast, but I don't want to copy any of those things. I want to put my own spin on things and be interesting and take criticism, good or bad. Anyway, I want to be different and entertaining. But a lot of these first few episodes that I'm doing, you're going to see me doing things like rankings. Like yesterday, I broke down the draft between me and my kids, mostly because it's still preseason, and there isn't a ton of things going on in the fantasy football community right now. Not a lot of news is impacting, fantasy football. I mentioned yesterday the Cam Newton being dropped by the Patriots, and there hasn't been much else since then. So, in one part to get this show going for the season, and another part to get used to doing this, I'm just going to try and throw some episodes out there. If you have any ideas, please feel free to contact me. I am on Twitter at Austin Wrote That. You can find FF Morning Show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Last night I made a TikTok. I even got a Snapchat. I'm probably going to do a Twitch also, but I got to learn that platform, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm not hard to find. So if you have suggestions or questions or ideas, let me know. If you want to be a guest, if you want to minimize the amount of my rambling and babbling on, feel free to ask me to be on here, because it's a slim chance I'm just going to say no. Because A, I like people, I like interacting, I like learning from people, and B, anything I can do to be able to talk less, I am in for. So, there's that. That being said, let's do this. See if we can share my screen. Share screen. Stop asking me that. Share screen here. Oh yeah, can I make my face bigger? Which is better? Okay, maybe I'm gonna go with smaller me, bigger shared screen, because I rewatched the video last night and it wasn't really easy to see the content. So I am, of course, using my favorite tool, the Fantasy Pros tool, to rank my players. Already done the quarterbacks. You can find my rankings on Eat Sleep Fantasy, eatsleepfantasy.com. That's where I'm a part of the staff. That's where I do my writing, and that's where you can find my rankings, along with everybody else who's doing rankings for ESF this year. Let us see. So, like I said, my rankings are a combination of stats from last year, because preseason stats mean absolutely nothing to me. I mean, you had twos playing against threes, and ones playing against twos, and ones playing against ones for limited amounts of time. People trying to get new players integrated. So I take zero, except for injuries. I take zero information from preseason games. So I have a spreadsheet that has a point system, and it builds out using last season's information. The downside to that is it doesn't account for rookies. So I will probably go back in and add rookies. I will also use player information. I'll use positional information. So if I know that player 2, the wide receiver 2 for the Eagles last year, is no longer there, he is gone, but they have inserted somebody else in that position. If I see the players as comparable, then I might put them in that same area in my rankings. Rankings are never done. It's not, I'm not a do my rankings and then week 1 leave them for the rest of the time. I will adjust them. I will adjust them during the week. These are just, I'm trying to get my rankings out there for the preseason, or for week 1. So I'm using the preseason week we have left over. Labor Day weekend and stuff like that. I'm using that period of time to finish my rankings before the week 1 games. It goes without saying that, I guess it doesn't go without saying. It should go without saying, but I mean, everybody is different. Davante Adams is my clear-cut number 1 running back. Wide receiver. Oh, speaking of me saying stupid things on camera, I would like to put out that yesterday I did watch back the video, and I realized that I said I like Randall Cobb because I think this year is going to be Patrick Mahomes' revenge season. Clearly, Randall Cobb is on the Packers, not the Chiefs. So what I meant to say was what I have been saying is I think it's going to be the Aaron Rodgers revenge season, which is why he's also listed as my number 1 quarterback. But yeah, I caught myself saying a stupid thing, and feel free to at me on shit like that because I don't care. I do. I mean, I want to know and I want to get better. I want to know that I made a mistake. If I misspoke and you catch me saying something, feel free to inbox me, DM me, at me. I don't care. I won't get butthurt over it. But I personally find it funny when I'm listening to a podcast or watching a show on TV and someone says the wrong name. So I'm perfectly okay being called out when I do it the same. So there. So we have Davante Adams as the number 1. I really want Stephon Diggs for my number 2. But he is not. Tyreek Hill is my number 2. The guy's just that good. Let's see. It sucks having the spreadsheet that I had to print out because I can't get 2 screens on the screen. I don't think there's any real big sleepers in here from last year. So we're going to go with Adam Thielen. Should be 3. I'm going to move Adam Thielen up to 3. So it was brought to me. I actually thought that I'd already done my rankings the other day, and then Dale messaged me on WhatsApp, and he said, "Hey, do you realize you have Cooper Kupp at 3 or 4, one of the two?" And I was like, maybe I don't hate that, but I think I have Cooper Kupp a little further down. Let's see. Then we can go with Mike Evans and A.J. Brown are real close to me, for me. My spreadsheet has Mike Evans just a bit over A.J. Brown. So we're going to go Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown. You will see me as the season goes on. You will see me do what I call very fanboy-ish things. I think everybody in the industry, except for the guys who are just purely stats, who people who build models and the model spits out stuff and they're like, "Hey, the model says this is what it is." I think anybody else who factors in week-to-week performance or things like that, I think that you will see people like that have fanboy-ish opinions on players, and I will go ahead and tell everybody that I'm low-key a Jarvis Landry fanboy, because I think he more consistently shows number one wide receiver tendencies in that offense than Odell Beckham does. Is partly the injury stuff. That's also partly I just feel like there is a better rapport with Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry. All world talent. Odell is phenomenal, but he doesn't get it done near as much as Landry, in my opinion. We'll get to Landry later on, though, so I have not even looked to see where he is number-wise. Let's see. Oh, this is gross. I'm literally doing. I updated my spreadsheet last night, and I have not really paid any attention to the numbers. So it is very shocking to me that my spreadsheet has spit out a guy named Will Fuller and said that he should go below OJ Brown. And because I don't like Will Fuller at all. So this may make me actually have to go back and completely redo my spreadsheet and my math because this feels gross. How did I miss his name? OJ Brown. Sorry, much like everything in my life, I've got like 80 people trying to call me right now when no one normally ever calls me. So I am responding to a text from my girlfriend, who normally I tell I'm recording, but normally I also record this earlier, but I had a bunch of setup things this morning. Sorry about that to all 0 people who are watching this. I may edit that part out. I don't know yet. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I need a picture of myself holding a coffee cup. So now I can take that and I can freeze. I can use a still and use that image. You know, hashtag nerd shit. All right, let's see. All right, so we have got Davante Adams 1, Tyreek Hill 2, Stephon Diggs 3, Adam Thielen 4. Wait a minute. No, Stephon Diggs is not. That's right. I have Stephon Diggs in the wrong place. There. Adams, Hill, Thielen, Mike Evans, AJ Brown. Then Will Fuller, Warf, threw up in my mouth. 12.36 rating. Chase Claypool. Moving on up in the ranks. All right. Chase Claypool. Tyler Lockett. 10.63 rating. You're probably going to hear me say the ratings numbers and be totally confused with what they mean. So I may in the future do an episode where I break down the factors that go into my ranking system. But just for shits and giggles, the highest, right now I'm calling it my 2021 value score. And the 2021 value score, the highest score is Davante Adams at a 21.86. So we are down to the number 8 receiver right now. And the number 8 receiver is Lockett. And he has, where is he just at? Claypool, 11.69. And Lockett, literally just had Lockett in here. Lockett is a 10.63. Sorry. Next up is interesting. DK Metcalf is also a 10.63, which, I mean, I will say this repeatedly throughout the season. I do think that Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are a 1 or 1A and a 1B. The only issue is you're never going to know which week is which. A lot like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, but usually with Evans and Godwin, there's an injury in there because it seems like when one is healthy, the other one's hurt or has a nagging injury or whatever it is. So a lot of times, each week I will pick my Tampa Bay receiver I will edge one up based off of who has the least amount of injuries factoring into their playing time. Metcalf and Lockett, you don't have that. I just think it's a matter of sometimes it's situational. Russ feels like, straight bomb down the field. That's a DK Metcalf thing. Intricate route. That is a Lockett thing. Sometimes it's coverage. I don't know. But it is very clear to me that it is all based off of Russell Wilson when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks receivers. Let's see. 10.63 for Metcalf. 10.2 for Calvin Ridley, another guy that I love. I think that he is going to eat this season. Also, that sounded better in my head. I am not this guy's going to eat kind of person, so I regret saying that, and I apologize to all of you who are watching this video. Let's see. Next up, that is all of my 10s. Let's go with some 9s. Marvin Jones, a 9.56 rating. Let's see. That gets me through. That's 11. So as it stands right now, prior to possibly moving around some rookies, my top 11 is Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, Will Fuller, Chase Claypool, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Calvin Ridley, followed up by Marvin Jones. I really do not enjoy the fact that, as it stands, Jarvis Landry is not in there. Now I'm curious to what Landry's score is in my system. I'm sure staring at me reading a piece of paper makes for very amazing podcasting. Because actually, you're not even looking at me. You're listening to me. And it's probably, I don't know, a video of me like this is probably more attractive than a video of me like this. So I may be winning followers right now. I don't know. Where is Jarvis Landry? Des Bryant. Jarvis Landry has a 5.67 rating, which is below Stephon Diggs' 8.5. And just out of curiosity, Odell Beckham has a 9.71. So even my ranking system thinks I'm wrong. So that should be interesting. Bad. So try to keep the first couple of episodes of the podcast short. Podcast plus video series. The show. What should I call it? The show. The show will be available in video format as well as audio format. So I'm gonna quit trying. I'm gonna try to quit saying the podcast or the video and just call it the show. So there you have my top 11 wide receivers, and you know, we'll see how the season goes. I may do more of this where I break down and I try and give you guys insights into it. We'll also have these clips where I break them down for things like Snapchat and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Um, but yeah, I will go. I'm not going to bore you with a 40-minute video of me looking for names on this sheet and inputting the information in Fantasy Pros. Like I said, you can find all of my rankings on eatsleepfantasy.com. You can also find me on Twitter. Feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to give me shit about my rankings because that's cool. Rankings are an individual thing. We all have the things that we all go into that affect our own rankings. And if I'm going to put mine out there, I should be willing to be criticized on them. So it is what it is. So with that being said, I think this is going to be the end of this episode of the show. And till next time, thanks for stopping by. That's not what I'm supposed to say. Oh, man. Supposed to say, so long and thanks for all the fish. Later, guys.